So how's this gonna work?
I'm Nick.
I'm Gabe.
And we're the Jumpcut Junkies.
We're the Jumpcut Junkies.
Tonight we're going to be discussing Human Centipede. Human Centipede.
First sequence.
First sequence. I believe the debut feature from Tom Six, starring Dr.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if he's a doctor either. Starring Dieter Laser as Dr. Hyder. And
Dieter Laser!
It's about a guy who creates a centipede out of 3 people by connecting their...
How can you start the synopsis for this film? It's about a guy. It's about this guy who... That makes it sound like this guy isn't a raging homicidal maniac. I don't want to say raging because it looks like he eats his fresh fruit in the morning very neatly. The world's best surgeon as far as separating Siamese twins, and you don't really get this in the movie, but you're meant to assume that, hey, he's so good at separating them, why
not put them together?
Put them together.
So he decides, he's so good at cleaving that he decides to cleave. You see what I did there? Because it means it's opposite.
I think you should cleave. I think you should cleave.
I'll cleave you.
Make like a tree and cleave.
That makes sense.
It does.
Make like a knife and cleave.
Make like...
That works.
No, it still doesn't make... Well, how would you make like a little knife?
You cleave.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Could you not?
So stop that. Now you're doing it.
He's trying to build an actual human centipede, which is essentially 3 people joined together to form one single gastric system. And this is due to the mouth attaching to the anus. So, some freaky ass-to-mouth action. There's 2 women, and then there's a guy in the front. I don't think that matters, really. But
he's not very interested in gender politics.
yeah, he doesn't like people, as the doctor says. So
very explicitly,
he attaches them all as one creature, and then he kind of has them do his bidding. And by bidding, the tagline for the film is 100% medically accurate. So they do kind of just crawl around.
Which is funny because
he uses them as
nothing else seems all that accurate. One complaint I have is the cops that show up later on in the film.
That's not about science, though.
It's not so well.
It's 100% medically accurate.
But the other stuff they don't really.
Who cares? They didn't say. It didn't say 100% German cop accurate.
I wish, man. Everything in the movie seemed. If it weren't for the medical thing, if it weren't for the human centipede aspect, it wouldn't be very much of a movie. Everything in the movie...
If it weren't for the human centipede, then the human centipede would not be
No, but I'm saying, if this movie were about something else, it wouldn't be that interesting or appealing.
Like a romance.
Or another kind of horror movie, like a stalker film. Because I think all the direction in the script seemed very by the numbers. It didn't seem to get too excited by the concept. It didn't really do much with it, which kind of disappointed me. Like the whole...
How much does it need to do? It's a human centipede.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the human centipede stuff. I'm glad they had it. Because I would be sorely disappointed if I went to a movie called Human Centipede and didn't see a human centipede.
The funniest part about this film is that you don't get to know the victims too well before they become the centipede. But the one person you do get to know well is the middle piece. The person who gets to shit in the other person's mouth and then get the shit in her mouth, which you don't see in the movie, by the way.
You see the poop. You don't see her pooping, but you see the guy.
You see a scene where he's pooping into her mouth, but you don't see it.
Yeah, you
don't see it.
You can't see it.
You hear the muffled cries.
To mouth.
The very sweet muffled cries. As disgusting as this film might be, it follows the tradition of horror films where the more horrifying aspects are the ones you don't see, the things you imagine. It's explicit, but it's not graphic. It's bloody, but it's not gratuitous.
Right. The parts of the centipede are A, B, and C.
Right.
Fairly easy to follow. C, you never see anything leave C. She never poops. Which you'd think it would take advantage of that.
Oh, drat.
Well, you'd think the movie, because it is, with this title like that, you'd think it would take advantage of that and just show a human defecate on film or video, as the case may be.
Would you think that?
It seems like something they do these days. If it were made in Japan, they would have done it. If it was a Takashi Miike movie.
Let's not open that box.
The MacGuffin of the women getting, how they get into this whole thing. Oh, their tire pops on their way to a German party. Well,
that's not really a MacGuffin.
It was not a MacGuffin, but it's the reason that they're thrown into this. Shut up. It moves the plot into motion. It's what It's what puts them into their predicament, and it's a
very tired plot development.
Yeah, exactly. Not that it's kind of implausible that they just wind up at that guy's house. And it's like, it's a gift for him.
Well, what would be plausible?
Well, no, the thing is,
the
thing is, he's already got one person. He like went out and shot one guy and put him in the bed.
But he's got the other guy too.
Not yet.
And he says, "I need to get rid of you."
Right at the beginning, he's got one guy in the hospital bed, and then it's like, was he just bumming around waiting for two chicks to show up at his door? He didn't seem very proactive about it.
It was the happiest day of Dieter Laser's life.
I guess the happiest day of Dieter Laser's life.
He doesn't like humans, so he's not going to go out hunting them in
that's a good
his
point.
house. Like when they try to escape.
But at the beginning, you missed it. You missed it. You said you missed the first few minutes of the movie, right?
First, like 2 minutes, yeah.
In the very first scene, he's parked by the side of the road. And,
yeah.
And there's the trucker. He goes and takes a dump, and he shoots him with a tranquilizer and brings him home.
Yeah, but he's not. Like, notice the scenes where the humans are trying to get away. He doesn't seem all that concerned with trying to catch them.
Because he knows they can't get away.
Yeah.
What happened?
There's not a whole lot to say about the Human Centipede first sequence.
I think based on the title and the synopsis, you know whether or not you want to see it. So whatever we say is not going to care.
That was a lot more graceful than I expected. The Human Centipede.
The Human Centipede.
First sequence. Bring the family.
The happiest day of Dieter Laser's life.